Hello and welcome to Essential Oils for All Animals. My name is Amy and I do want to state that I am not a veterinarian by any means. I am simply going to share with you what I have learned over the course of my oil adventure and how I've learned to use essential oils safely on my animals and other animals. So last summer I was able to attend the Young Living Convention, and there I did gather quite a bit of information from holistic veterinarians on how to safely use Young Living essential oils. And a combination with that and then using the Animal Dusk reference written by Melissa Shelton, who's a holistic veterinarian, I have put together this class and presentation for you guys. And you can hopefully get some use out of it and see how you can incorporate essential oils into your animals' lives. So thanks for coming. So just like with humans, essential oils can really enhance the well-being and health of our animals' lives. So everything from emotional, physical, and even spiritual, we can really enhance the lives of our feathered, furry, and scaly friends. And animals are actually quite receptive to essential oils, in fact, even more so than humans. So, where other traditional medicines or protocols may have failed, there are cases in which essential oils have, really triggered great responses from animals. So they're extremely powerful and a great method to use on your pets. So last summer at the convention, the holistic veterinarians that presented there, said that all essential oils are safe to use on all animals as long as they're young living essential oils. And that's because of the purity and the quality of young living essential oils. We know that nothing else is added to those oils. It's distilled and extracted straight from the plant and bottled. And there may be, some things that you've read online about using essential oils with cats. In most of those cases where either death or seizures have occurred is a response to the chemicals or additives that were added to the impure essential oils that were used. So they weren't young living essential oils. They most likely had synthetics, fragrances, other chemical components in them that were not healthy for the cat, and therefore the cat wasn't able to process it, and resulted with severe seizures or fatality. So the veterinarians reassured me that you can use oils that are high in phenols such as melaleuca, thyme, marjoram, and wintergreen. You can use those oils with cats as long as you're taking precaution. So you wouldn't want to use those oils excessively on your cat. So we know that Young Living essential oils have been around for 21 years now, and that's really given them the opportunity to fine-tune their oil production and to provide the most pure and potent oils worldwide. So they do testing to ensure the purity of their oils. Nothing else is added to them. What you get in the bottle, like I said, comes straight from the plant. So that's why they're incredibly pure and potent and able to be used on animals safely. So the first step of using essential oils on your animals is to see if they'll accept it. So one of the hardest things to correct is an aversion to essential oils. So you don't want to introduce an oil and have your animal, have a complete aversion to it, because it's going to be incredibly difficult to reverse that aversion. So you want to slowly introduce the oils, and you want to see if they'll accept the oil before you actually put it on them or give it to them orally or diffuse it or whatnot. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to simply just open the bottle of essential oil, and you don't even have to take the cap off, although you may. And you can just take the cap off and see how your animal reacts to it. Are their eyes watering? Are they sneezing? Are their ears laid back? Do they run away? Look for signs of dislike. Another method is to put a drop in the palm of your hands. Rub your palms together, and you can either pet your pants or your legs if you have an animal that's down at ground level. You can also apply it to like your shoulders or your shirt if you have like a bird or a rodent or something like that that would maybe be crawling around your upper body. You can also apply the essential oil to a bed, a toy, a favorite blanket, something like that. So basically the point is you want to introduce the oil without putting it on them, and you want to see how they react to it first. Again, you're going to look for those signs of dislike or discomfort. And if you see that, then you probably want to put that oil away and reach for another oil, because that's one of the coolest things about essential oils. If one oil you're not seeing results, or for some reason you can't use that oil, there are several other options that you can choose from. So don't be afraid to try something else. So once your animal has accepted the essential oils, you can start using them on your animal. And you don't want to ever apply the oils directly to the face, like around the nose, eyes. There are some recipes for eye mists where you can actually spray or spritz a combination of lavender, I think, and even maybe frankincense, where you can actually, it has been done in the past, where you can spray the actual eye of the animal. But typically you want to avoid applying directly to the face unless, of course, the means call for that. You also want to avoid applying oils to the pads of the feet on animals. And most animals, the pads of their feet regulate their temperature. So if you're coating oils, especially if you're using a carrier oil is just a vegetable-based oil or nut-based oil. So almond oil, coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, avocado oil. Anything like that is a carrier oil, and what that does is it actually disperses the essential oil molecules so they're not so concentrated and intense when applying them topically or taking them internally. So if you're using a carrier oil with essential oils on the pads of the feet of your animal, you may be inhibiting their temperature regulation. So obviously if there's like a thorn or a sore or cut of some sort on one of the pads of their feet, you can most certainly apply essential oils to that area. It's just typically you wouldn't want to coat the pads of their feet. Another thing you want to avoid are the inside of the ears on your animals. There's certain recipes that you can spray or mist or even apply topically essential oils to the inner ear, the flaps around the ear, and maybe just the start of the ear canal, but you would never drop a drop of essential oil directly into the ear canal. Another great way for using, or a method to share essential oils with your animals is through diffusing. So they have an incredibly powerful sense of smell, and by diffusing the essential oils, they're inhaling those oil molecules into their membranes, and it is getting absorbed and penetrates their bloodstream and their bodies, their cells, and whatnot. So diffusing is a great way to administer it. And then you always want to start small. You want to start with like one drop. Some animals that are incredibly small, you may even use like a toothpick dipped into a drop. Or you may start with a diluted drop with carrier oil, and then you want to work your way up to a dosage that you think is necessary. The typical dose is less than one drop, and it can be all the way up to 20 drops or something if you're dealing with a horse. So start small when you're first introducing them, work your way up. You always want to dilute hot oils, so anything like thieves, oregano, even peppermint, you probably want to dilute those oils first using the carrier oil. And you also want to administer the essential oils to your animals for, a little at a time. You want to start with a little bit, especially if you're diffusing, maybe only start diffusing for 10, 15 minutes. Then you can increase it later. And you want to administer the oils at longer times apart. So if a typical regimen calls for 3 times a day, you might want to break that into, okay, I'll start once today, I'll skip tomorrow, and then I'll do it again the next day. You're going to figure out what's working for your pet and what you feel comfortable on how you want to administer the oils with your pet. But start small, use a little bit at a time, and for longer lengths of time apart. So like I said, diffusing is one of the most awesome ways to administer essential oils. You're also getting the benefits. But this is great because you are triggering the limbic system in your brain. So those oil molecules actually get trapped in your olfactory membrane. And when they fit like a puzzle piece, it triggers the nerve, which sends a signal to your limbic brain, the limbic part of your brain. And the limbic part of your brain is responsible for emotional feelings like fear and grief, anxiety, happiness, anger, and then also it's responsible for physiological parts in your body. So it's also responsible for your heart rate, your blood pressure, your hormone levels, your stress levels, all of that. So by inhaling these molecules, you actually are creating, an emotional and a physiological change in your body and animals as well. So the only ways to access that limbic brain is through the sense of smell. And these are the ultrasonic diffusers. So there's the home diffuser on the left. Second is the bamboo diffuser. The aria is up top, and then the dewdrop is on the lower right-hand side. And these are the 4 diffusers that are offered if you order the premium starter kit. And that comes with the 11 essential oils that I'll be going over in this class. But also you get your pick of diffuser with that kit, and it's a great deal. And then once you get that, you become the wholesale member to get 24% off for life. So these are all water-based, and they're all atomizing diffusers. One of the great things about Young Living essential oil diffusers is that they're made with medical grade plastic. So that means that none of the petrochemicals will be leached into the solution that will be diffused into your atmosphere. So non-toxic method of diffusing essential oils. If you were to go to the store and buy, a diffuser, it's most likely, I can almost guarantee, not going to be made with medical grade plastic. Therefore, when you're diffusing oils, you could be also diffusing the chemicals that have leached out from that. So it's very important to get, good quality oils and good quality diffusers as well. So there's also passive methods on diffusing. You could simply put drops on their toys, on their beds, the cage papers. You can, put a drop of essential oil on tissues or cotton balls. Humans, of course, like I said, we can put it on ourselves and they'll be able to smell the benefits of those oils. And misting, like with a spray bottle. The next method of use with animals is internal usage. So when using essential oils, you always want to use the stainless steel or glass containers. I say never plastic unless it's medical grade. But stainless steel and glass, and that again is to prevent toxins from leaching. So there's different methods on how you can administer the essential oils to your animals. If your animals are tolerant, you can actually mix it into their food or into a treat. I know most cats probably won't accept that, but dogs typically do. I think birds have a really bad sense of taste. They don't have much of sense of taste, so you could probably get away with it with a bird as well. You can also add the oils to their drinking water. So you can start with just a toothpick dip. So you just dip the toothpick into the essential oil drop, and then you'd swish that into the water. Again, glass or stainless steel container. And you'd start with that, and then you'd work your way up to a drop. Also, another method is like sublingually, so you could do it under the tongue. But if you can't get to that, a great spot is the inner bottom lip, which is in between, the gum line right there. That's a great method for dogs and horses in particular. I saw one of the horses at convention last year, and it was the first time the horse was receiving a raindrop technique. And you could tell he was very agitated and nervous, and he was showing signs of that. His ears folded back, his tail was swishing back and forth, and he was stomping his feet. And the practitioner came up and dropped about 20 drops of Stress Away directly on the inner bottom lip, and it was within a matter of minutes. The whole demeanor of the horse just calmed down and relaxed. So that absorbs directly into their bloodstream, and you'll see very quick results. Another method is using a veggie capsule. So for dogs and cats, you could use size 3 or 4 veggie capsules. Those are like the smallest veggie cap, where you can fit some drops of essential oil in there, and you can administer the capsules to your cats or dogs that way. Dropped in the mouth, again, if it's for any discomfort or pain, or post-operative recovery, any mouth issues, stuff like that. They also get internal use through grooming. So if you are using the petting method, which we'll go over next, your cat, say, is going to be grooming itself and will be licking his coat and getting some of those essential oils internally, and that is fabulous. That's a wonderful way to administer oils internally to your cats and dogs as well. And then another method is just to add the essential oils to a carrier of either oil like coconut oil, Ningxia Red, which is a wonderful supplement drink that is made from wolfberries, agave or honey, something like that, and you can either syringe it into their mouth or give it to them in a spoonful, or however is easiest for your animal. And then topical use is the last application. So the wonderful thing about animals is that you don't actually have to shave your animal to apply oils topically. They actually, the oils are absorbed directly in through the hair follicle. So no shaving or parting is needed. And the same applies for feathers. You just, can use a petting method. And it's a great way to apply the oils without having to, I guess, make your animal look funny by shaving it. So the petting method is really easy. You just put a drop on the palm of your hand, and you would rub your hand together. Now this is for a small animal. So for my cat, for example, I would put a drop of lavender on the palm of my hand. I would rub the palms of my hands together until the oil was almost completely rubbed in, meaning I don't see any oil residue on my hand. That's like maybe 10 rubs or something like that. Then I would just stroke my cat from the shoulders all the way down to her rump on her back, and I would just keep petting her down as many times as I want. And that is going to, administer that essential oil topically through her hair follicle. Now for a bigger animal like a horse, you could use 20 drops doing the petting method. You can also mix it with a carrier oil because there's such a larger surface area that you're covering. Some other methods are using spray misters. So any glass spray bottles, you can either mix the essential oils with a carrier oil or with water. Here's a little recipe just saying 4 ounces of water with 4 to 6 drops of essential oil. Like that would be good for a dog size animal. If you want to do that with a cat, I'd probably cut that in half. I would probably say 1 to 3 drops for a cat. And then again, you want to avoid the pads of the feet. You can also apply the oils directly to an area of concern. So if there's an issue that you're trying to target immediately, such as a rash or a cut or boil or growth or something like that, of course you would apply the oils directly to that area. And once your animal has accepted the essential oil, you can either apply it with a carrier oil or neat, which means directly from the bottle. And then shampoos, ointments, and wading pools. Those are great methods to apply oils topically. You can just add the drops of essential oils to the shampoos, to the ointments. And wading pools is great for, any animal that likes to sit in the water for some time. They're going to be getting the benefits of those essential oils and enjoying it. And then raindrop technique, which I will probably post a separate video on raindrop technique, and it's tailored to different species of animals, but overall it's pretty general, and it's a great way. You're actually administering several single oils, and you're applying it to the spine along the animal, from the rump up and to the shoulders, and it's a great method that's used for a number of physical and emotional issues. So one thing that I learned is that Thieves household cleaner is safe to use on animals because it's 100% vegetable based, it's biodegradable, and it's totally safe for children and animals. You can actually use this. You could spray it on their coats. You can use this as a substitute for shampoo. I know at Young Living Farm, they only use this to wash their horses' coats. And they looked beautiful. They were incredibly shiny and clean. So this is a great way as well to administer essential oils through the household cleaner. So I'm going to go over just like some first line defense for specific animals. These are probably the most common, I would say, and these are general. So these are probably the first line of defense that you would do, if there was like a really serious issue that you were trying to address. You might want to step it up and try something else. So these are certainly not all inclusive. These are just the first line of defense on the most used methods for these species. So for dogs, definitely diffusion. Using your diffuser, whether it's an air or a water-based diffuser, dogs are going to benefit from incredibly. So a water-based diffuser are all the diffusers that I showed you on the diffusion page. They all have water that's mixed with essential oil that you're adding to the diffuser, and then an ultrasonic plate is diffusing that into the atmosphere. There are some air-based diffusers, and that would be like the TheraPro diffuser, and that's simply dispersing very fine particles of the essential oil into the atmosphere, so there's no water with that. So dogs, so you'll see that on here, you'll see either water diffusion or diffusion. When I say diffusion, it means either water or air-based. So dogs, again, you would apply topical to the specific location. You can use the petting method that I went over. Any bathing, so adding it to their shampoos or a wading pool. There's also the canine raindrop technique that's amazing for dogs. That's probably, in my animal desk reference, that's the first line of defense that she goes to. And that can be done in some cases up to twice a day. It just really depends on what you're dealing with. You can add it to their drinking water, their food, and oral brushing or administration through a capsule. Cats are a little bit more sensitive to smells and a little bit more finicky and picky. So, you would only use a water diffuser while diffusing essential oils for them. There's also the Litaroma, which is a great way to get animals exposed, cats exposed to essential oils. So that's basically using unscented litter, and you would just mix 1 cup of baking soda with either 1 to 3 drops of an essential oil of your choice. And you mix that together and you put it in a glass jar, let it set overnight, and then the next day you can sprinkle it on top of the unscented litter, and you can mix it in. So every time they're going in to use the litter box, not only are they getting the aroma of the essential oils, but they're also getting it on their paws and absorbing it topically. Petting method is a great way. That's what I use probably the most with my cat, Harley, and I typically use lavender. That's the one she's most tolerant of. Oral administration using the size 3-4 capsules, topical to a specific location that you're trying to address, and there's actually a kitty raindrop recipe, and I'll probably post a video of that later today. Now horses they just do so well with essential oils, and all of the horses, like I said, at Young Living Ranch and Farm are exposed to essential oils and supplements on a daily basis. So diffusion is a great way to expose them to essential oils, topical to the location, also the petting method. Like I said, since they're a larger animal, you might want to incorporate a carrier oil when doing the petting method. Water misting, so that's just adding the essential oil to a glass water bottle, topping it off with water and misting either their joints or their back or their stomach or whatever area. Bathing, and then there's also the horse raindrop technique, which is very detailed. There's a lot of steps to that, and it's a great method, very incredible method that I saw firsthand at the ranch, and it was quite impressive to see done. A lot goes into that, and that's also in the animal desk reference book if you want to reference that technique. And then oral administration, again, you can try and add it to food or water or capsule. And again, the lip, lower lip and gum. So for larger animals like, cattle, llamas, goats and pigs are probably going to follow more of the dog lines of defense. But for larger animals like cows and llamas and whatnot, you're going to do diffusion, topical to specific locations, the petting method, water misting, bathing, and then again here you're either going to use the canine or the horse raindrop technique, depending on, if it's goat or pig, you'll stick with canine method. You can add it to their drinking water, and again, oral administration. So this is a little bit more of the exotic animals. The first lines of defense for birds is diffusion. So if you can use either the air or the water-based diffusers, but if it is the air-based diffuser, you just want to put that diffuser further away from the birds so it's not so intense, but you can use both. Water misting is a phenomenal way to apply oils topically to your birds. So you would just create the spray bottle and spray your birds down, and then you could pet them if you want, but they actually love that. Some take to the water misting more than to like baths or bathing. And like I said, their sense of taste is not as intense as ours or other animals, so you can probably get away with adding it to their food or their water. And then there's also an avian raindrop technique. Ferrets and rodents, they probably fall along the same lines. It would probably just be a difference of dosage, how much you would give to them, depending on the size of the animal. Water diffusion here for ferrets and rodents. Petting application, applying specifically to an area of concern. Bathing, and then also the lit aroma works for these as well. Fish. So if you have an aquarium at your house, the most commonly used essential oils for fish are peppermint, lemon, and purification. Now that's not saying you can't use anything else, it's just these are the ones where people have had most success. So I recommend starting with these three if you're going to start with any, and then maybe if you feel confident you can venture out and try a toothpick dip of another oil. But this is great for keeping the aquarium in a healthy state for the fish. So you would take a toothpick, dip it in the essential oil, and then swish it through the aquarium. maybe for 10 seconds or something like that, making sure that it all comes off. And then once you've done that and the fish have taken to that, then you could step it up if you want, and you can start adding drops to the water. I think the typical dosage here was 2 to 5 drops per 10 gallons. So rabbits are very tolerable to essential oils, although they can, you want to ease into it definitely with these guys. Water diffusion is really good for them, and you want to be careful when you're using any immune boosting antibacterial oils. So they actually have their hind gut fermenters. So if you're using an antibacterial oil, you just really want to be careful with that, because you don't want to destroy the bacterial fauna and flora that they have in their intestinal gut. You want to preserve that. So you just want to use caution when using those oils. The petting method works great for them, topical to a specific location, and also to their drinking water. And reptiles. So reptiles, water diffusion, definitely. Water misting. Soaking in a pool is awesome. That way is like one of the best ways. And then topical to location. So sometimes, they may have an area of concern, and you can apply the essential oil directly to that location. You can also gut load their food. So if they're eating crickets, bugs, something like that, you can actually load the guts of their food with like supplements, essential oil, whatever it is. And then oral flushes and oral administration. For some mouth concerns, I know flushing works really well. And then there's actually a reptile raindrop technique as well that can be used. So I'm going to start going over the 11 oils that come in the kit and how they can be used, just some of the ways on how they can be used with your animals. So this is certainly by no means a comprehensive list. Again, you can refer to either the Animal Desk Reference Book or even the Essentials Pocket Reference or Desk Reference Book that you have, for humans, because you're going to find that, what works for humans, because, the oils that have specific properties that work with humans, well, those are also going to work the same on our furry, feathered, and scaly friends. So, the only difference I would say is the Animal Desk Reference has more, it's more specific, obviously, and it tells you dosage and application and stuff like that. But if you're in a crunch, you can read up in your human reference book. So lemon has just a really calming, soothing aroma, so diffusing this for, a dog who may have like occasional nervousness or anxiety or something like that. This one might be a good one to do, as well as stress away. But lemon also supports a healthy bladder and urinary tract function. It's great for healthy digestive support. It's high in antioxidants. It detoxifies. It also cleanses the air, so good to use in stables. If you have a room full of animals where there's cages and whatnot, this could be a good one to diffuse or mist in the air. It can also be used for occasional water retention. It removes any goo, so if your animal comes back and has any like sap or something in their hair, lemon will take that out. And it's also a carpet freshener, so if there's any accidents or on the sofa or your chairs or something like that, lemon's great for that. Stress Away is one of my favorite oils. This is the one that I saw given to the horse at convention last year and was amazed. It's got a very calming aroma, and it actually helps, reduce and relieve stress. So this would be a great oil to use if your animal, has to take a ride in the car, has to, fly on a plane. If there's any circumstance where your animal could have fearful emotion, this is a good one to use aromatically. Birthing situations, hospitalizations, surgeries, anything like that. Obedience training, it's really good to apply, about 10 minutes before obedience training starts. It also supports a healthy digestion in horses typically, so this is good to apply topically over the stomach and guts or to be taken internally. And it's very uplifting and can enhance your mood when diffused. Lavender is the most versatile oil that we have, probably anywhere, but it's also nicknamed the Swiss Army knife of essential oils, but it's most commonly used for, its calming aroma. It's very, its aroma helps, relax you and maybe even help you with like sleeping. It's great for supporting healthy skin, so it can be applied to areas that have, skin concerns. You can add it to shampoos or to the salves of your animals to apply it. It's very soothing, and it can also be used for occasional water retention. Purification is probably one you'll use quite often with your animal, especially if they're stinky. This is the freshening oil, so this neutralizes odors. My neighbor actually, her dog got sprayed by a skunk, and I think we rubbed purification oil on just on the coat. We didn't use a spray or anything. I just did the petting method. And I can remember, getting home and the next morning, my hands didn't even smell like skunk. So purification is amazing at neutralizing odors. It also purifies the air. So diffusing it is great. It can deter any pests. It also soothes bug bites, and it supports a healthy immune system. Thieves is that powerhouse for supporting a healthy immune system and function. This one is amazing. It's great for any dental hygiene issues, and it helps maintain a healthy respiratory system. It's very cleansing to the air when diffused, and it's also great for cleaning surfaces. So you can just add this, 10 drops or whatever to a glass spray bottle, fill it up with 1 ounce of water, and you can use that to cleanse surfaces, which is great if you're cleaning cages from fecal matter and whatnot. So Panaway, this one is a blended oil that is great for soothing minor muscle aches and pains. It contains methyl salicylate, which is a compound that's found in this essential oil, and I encourage you to look that up. Aspirin is made from methyl salicylate. So it's very soothing to muscles and to any aches and pains that your animal may have. So you can apply this neat straight from the bottle or use a carrier oil. If you have an animal that just, really exerted themselves, maybe you took them for a long hike, maybe they're, a horse that was involved, towing a cart, or whatever, you can be applying this topically to your animals after they've overexerted themselves. And it also helps support healthy circulation in animals when applied topically. Peppermint is great for digestion, so this supports healthy digestive system. It may, reduce occasional vomiting and nausea. Also diarrhea and constipation it can be great for when taken internally or applied topically over the intestinal tract. It can soothe minor aches and pains or any muscle discomfort. It also supports healthy circulation, and it's extremely cooling. So if your animals are out in a hot environment, you can actually do a mist or, spray bottle with a little peppermint oil, and you can mist them with that. It's incredibly cooling for them. Also drinking it as well will cool their bodies and aid in their digestion as well. Frankincense. This is a great oil that helps support healthy skin. The aroma, so when this oil is diffused, is very uplifting to your mood. It can help soothe minor aches and pains when applied topically, and it can help behavioral issues. So if you have an animal that's, got some behavioral issues, I would recommend applying this topically or diffusing. It also contains sesquiterpenes, and Sesquiterpenes are really cool. They're one of the compounds in essential oils that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, which is extremely difficult for most substances to do. So any brain issues, I would probably, you know, any oils high in sesquiterpenes would be recommended for that. Frankincense is great to massage with a carrier oil after strenuous activity into your joints, into your muscles, and it also supports a healthy immune function. So you can take this internally to support your immune function. Copaiba, this is a great oil. It's actually tapped directly from the copal tree. It's not distilled, it's tapped, just like maple syrup. And this one actually promotes wellness in the body. So it can be taken internally, definitely. It's a very gentle oil. This one can be diffused as well, but it has a very mild scent. It may be part of your a daily health regimen. It's so gentle. And it can support your healthy skin. It can help soothe minor aches and pains, so it's great to rub over your joints or your muscles. It helps support a healthy urinary system and a healthy circulatory and pulmonary system. And the aroma itself may elevate your mood. And it's actually an amplifying or magnifying oil. So this actually amplifies and boosts the properties of the other essential oils when it's used with them. So you can either add it to other essential oils when administering, or you can layer it, which is just once you apply one oil topically, you wait a minute or two, and then you apply the copaiba over that. And what it does is it increases the half-life of the essential oil. So the half-life is how long it is active in your body and how long it's actually working in your body. So copaiba actually increases that half-life of other essential oils. So this is a great one to have in your back pocket. Digize is wonderful for supporting healthy digestive function. This one can be taken internally or applied topically. It may cleanse the intestinal tract, and it can also perhaps reduce occasional vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, and constipation. RC stands for respiratory congestion. This one, diffused or applied topically, is great for supporting a healthy respiratory system. It could possibly relieve occasional congestion. It may relieve a sore throat. It helps calm and relax constricted muscles, so you can apply this topically, neat or with a carrier oil. It also may relieve occasional muscle spasms. So the aroma, when diffused, is incredibly uplifting. So this is something that would be good to either diffuse or rub on your chest before a strenuous activity. So those are the oils that come in the kit, the premium starter kit that I talked about that comes with the diffuser. But Young Living also has a whole line of animal products, and it's called Animal Scents. So you can buy anything from like the shampoo to animal ointments, to the care collection, to this Repel aroma spray. But they also have individual oils that are available for your furry friends, and feathered and scaly. So some of the oils that are available, they're all blends and are PuraClean, Mendwell, Infectaway, Repel Aroma, Paragize, and Teaway. And just from the names, you can kind of tell how they would be supportive in your animal's life. But you can also look those up online or reach out and ask any questions that you have on this line. But, if you're intimidated to make your own or just use your own oils, there's also this line that makes it incredibly easy for you to use on your animals. And then we can't forget the supplements, because in the Animal Desk reference book, most of the protocols for, some issues and recommendations just for general health and well-being in general are to incorporate supplements into your animal's life. And these are completely safe, for most animals to use. You just want to make sure, you run by any of these, the oils and the supplements, by a veterinarian, and, make sure that it's safe for your animal and your pet, and that it's approved by them before using. That would be my recommendation. But some of these supplements can support healthy liver function. They can support, healthy digestive function. They're high in antioxidants like the Ningxia Red. That's a great way. That Ningxia Red itself is just so incredibly high in antioxidants, and it actually helps support a healthy immune system. Quite a bit that Ningxia Red does, and you can add the essential oils to a dose of Ningxia Red when you're giving it to your animal. So any of these supplements, could be good for energy, healthy bones, healthy ligaments and muscle, and they're low. I should say Ningxia Red too is incredibly low in sugar. So that's a good alternative if you have an animal that may be diabetic. Ningxia Red's great for that. And then references. Again, all of that I shared with you today came from what I learned at convention a year ago, and also from these two books. So the Animal Desk reference book for Essential Oils for Animals, written by Melissa Shelton, is a wonderful resource. I have that, and it lists, almost every animal out there that you can imagine. And it's a great reference and resource to have. And I also shared some information about particular oils that I got from the Essential Oils Desk reference book. And again, you can use that book as well. So these are my two references. And then we also have some online groups that are animal and oil based. So if you'd like to be added to any of those, you should let your the person who introduced you or invited you to this class, you should let them know and see if they can add you to those groups. And that will broaden your knowledge as well on how to use oils on your animals. So thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions, either post them in the comments section of this post, or you can post a completely separate post if you like. I'm going to go through that events page, and I'll be sure to follow up and answer any questions that you may have. So thanks again for tuning in.